American troops moving into the Middle East after that violent siege on the U.S. Embassy. Iranian-backed protesters throwing rocks, setting fires, ramming bulletproof windows during 2 days of chaos. What the president is now saying as U.S. citizens are warned not to go near the compound.
Homecoming havoc, snow, ice, and heavy rain moving in as millions head home from the holidays. Cars spinning out on slick roads. High winds causing this truck to lose control. Tumbleweed shutting down a highway. Now the new threat this morning. Ginger is tracking it all.
Wildfire emergency. Australia in crisis as those deadly fires burn out of control. Thousands of residents and tourists seeking shelter on the beach as the military races to evacuate people trapped by flames. The urgent new warning this morning.
An ABC News exclusive. Alex Trebek and his wife revealing the moment they learned his diagnosis and how they're facing it head on.
Throughout my life, I've always wondered about how courageous a human being I was.
His wife, Jean, there by his side, helping him keep that signature humor.
Back off, Michael. I'm not saying anything.
Only on GMA this morning.
Hanging by a thread. The terrifying moment this base jumper gets caught on the face of a mountain, his parachute stuck in a crack. Inside this heart-pounding rescue.
Bad to the bone. And bad to the bone. Wasabi, the Pekingese, waltzing his way to Best in Show, winning top dog at the American Kennel Club National Championship. Now he's bringing that fur and fluff right here live to Times Square.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And we certainly do say Good Morning America. Great to be with you on this first Thursday of 2020. And look who's helping us celebrate the new year.
Bad to the bone, right?
Wow.
That's Wasabi is the name. That's a Pekingese. This is the one that won the title of Best in Show at the American Kennel Club National Championship.
Look at that face.
Beat out 5,000 other faces. Yes, 5,000 other competitors. To
Big
win
hair don't care.
Right?
So I guess Wasabi's got the special soy sauce to go with it, too. Wasabi, the first dog from the toy group to win. Of course, we can't wait to meet him right here live coming up.
And we will. But first, we do have a lot of news to get to, starting with the rising tensions in the Middle East following those explosive protests at the American Embassy. 2 days of fiery clashes. Now more U.S. troops are heading to the region. Martha Raddatz is in Washington, has the very latest for us. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. This is an embassy that is one of the most fortified in the world. And while those angry crowds have backed off for now, the U.S. military is taking no chances. In the wake of a violent siege on the American embassy in Iraq, hundreds of U.S. troops have arrived in the Middle East. From North Carolina, soldiers deployed within hours, and Marines arriving by Osprey aircraft on the embassy grounds. The reinforcements coming after 2 days of chaos at the embassy, which was surrounded on Tuesday by an Iranian-backed militia and its supporters, shouting, "Down, down, America." The angry crowd throwing rocks, spraying anti-American graffiti, setting fire to rooftops and guard posts, even ramming bulletproof windows with American security standing on the other side. Apache helicopters sending warning flares over the violent protesters. The next morning, Marines forced to fire tear gas into the crowd. Over the holiday, the president laying the blame for the violence at the feet of Iran, which has been backing several proxy groups in the region. Despite tweeting that Iran will pay a very big price, this is not a warning, it is a threat. Trump insisting he does not want war.
I don't think that would be a good idea for Iran. It wouldn't last very long. Do I want to? No. I want to have peace. I like peace.
The protests igniting after the militia says 25 of its members were killed in U.S. airstrikes launched in retaliation for a deadly rocket attack by that same militia group. After Iraqi Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi called on crowds to stand down, the protesters finally obeyed its own leadership's call to withdraw on Wednesday. But tensions remain high as pro-Iranian elements in Iraq continue to demand the removal of American forces, while the Pentagon says thousands more U.S. forces are on alert for possible deployment. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad said in a statement Wednesday that it was closed to the public until further notice, advising U.S. citizens not to go anywhere near the compound. Robin?
Right. And as you know, Martha, there's also worrying signs coming out of North Korea. Their leader there saying, quote, threatening shocking action and warning a new strategic weapon. What's the latest you can tell us about North Korea?
Exactly, Robin. Kim Jong-un warning that North Korea will no longer be bound by a self-imposed moratorium on testing nuclear weapons or long-range ballistic missiles. And he did threaten to show off a new strategic weapon. This is going to be a very challenging year for President Trump with both North Korea and Iran. Robin?
Does appear to be that way. Okay, Martha, thank you. TJ?
All right, Robin, we turn now to a dangerous weather threat that is on the move this morning. We're talking about snow, heavy winds, also out there, heavy rains that are causing some flooding. All this as millions head home after the holidays. Ginger has the very latest, is tracking this. Good morning to you, Ginger.
Good morning to you, TJ. You can see right here, Salt Lake City, Utah, Interstate 15, the slide-offs, the dozens of accidents that were happening there. It wasn't just that light snow, though, that was causing trouble. It was the wind. That's right along the Wyoming-Colorado state line, that Amazon truck taking that wind, and this is why we warned for high-profile vehicles. Boulder, Colorado had a gust to 80 miles per hour. Now we have a different storm. We're going to be watching this one. This is absolutely going to impact the south today and through the weekend here in the Northeast. Travel huge, and that's why we have to go to our Alex Perez in Chicago this morning.
Hey, good morning, Ginger. Check out the terminal behind me here. You can see already a number of passengers here at O'Hare making their way homes from the holiday trips. Now, take a look at this map. It shows all of the flights in the air right now across the country. As you can see, things are picking back up. Some 2.64 million passengers are expected to fly today. That's about 250,000 more passengers than we see on an average day. Things are about to get a lot busier. Ginger?
Thank you, Alex. You know, Chicago may be dry, but Atlanta's starting to get into the rain. The heavy rains are going to be just west of there. And so that's why we want to focus on Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. A lot of these spots already have been very wet the last 7 days at about 200% of normal. So you see those flash flood warnings that are put up really through the state of Mississippi, northern Alabama, like Huntsville. We're worried about flash flooding, especially if you're going to be on the roads today. If you're traveling I-65 or I-20, you get 4 to 6 inches of rain fast. If you see a flash flood warning, that's when you just stop. You don't be on the roads during that. That's how people die in flash flooding, is in cars. On top of this, you're going to have the front moving through. So southern Louisiana and Mississippi end up having a damaging wind and even isolated tornado threat. So, as if that's not enough, this thing is not going to stop in the south. It is going to move to the northeast. 1 to 2 inches of rain is going to be with us. Saturday night, though, some wraparound snow to deal with in the northeast. That could be trouble going into Sunday, Monday. Guys?
All right, Ginger, thanks. We'll check back with you soon. Turning now to Washington, where lawmakers will soon return from recess and start the new year right where they left off, at a stalemate over impeachment. But this morning, there are signs of potential breaks in the GOP ranks. Mary Bruce is on Capitol Hill with the very latest. Mary, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. While the impeachment process is still in limbo this morning, the president is optimistic. He says he's looking forward to a trial in the Senate, but it's not clear exactly what that trial is going to look like. And now some Republicans are raising concerns with their own party's approach. Republican leader Mitch McConnell has promised to be in, quote, total coordination with the White House. But Senator Lisa Murkowski says she was disturbed to hear that. And Senator Susan Collins of Maine says it is inappropriate for either side to prejudge the evidence. And she says she is open to hearing from witnesses. And that is still the big sticking point here on the Hill. Democrats are demanding to hear from 4 key witnesses close to the president, while Republicans want a quick trial with no witnesses. And until they can sort that out, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is refusing to send over the articles of impeachment for the Senate to consider. So lots of questions here for lawmakers when they return to the Hill next week. Robin.
Still looking for answers. Okay, Mary, thank you. Now to the race for 2020. We're just over a month away from the Iowa caucuses. Democrats are crisscrossing that state, trying to connect with voters and taking new aim at their opponents. Eva Pilgrim is in Cedar Rapids with the latest there. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. We have just 1 month until the Iowa caucuses, and the candidates are out in full force. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are both expected to make stops in this area today, and this is still anyone's race. The latest polling showing people here in Iowa haven't made up their minds.
Thank you so much for being here.
The rush is on to get to voters.
It's time to get real.
But a cloud of uncertainty around the impeachment trial looming and could potentially throw a wrench into some campaign plans.
I would honor whatever the Congress, in fact, legitimately asked me to do.
After first saying he would not, Joe Biden clarifying that he would comply if subpoenaed for the impeachment trial. But the former vice president maintains his testimony would be irrelevant.
I have no firsthand knowledge. There's no basis to that. So my point was there would be no basis upon which to call me as a witness to an event that, in fact, I cannot have any impact on.
Biden not the only candidate waiting to hear if or when they'll be pulled back to D.C. for the impeachment trial. Senators Michael Bennet, Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren will all be faced with juggling their campaigns and their duties in the Senate. Meanwhile, Mayor Pete, now the former mayor of South Bend, his term ending Wednesday, freeing Buttigieg up to spend more time campaigning. And anything can happen here in Iowa right up until the home stretch, and the candidates know it. In 2019, there were nearly 19 campaign events here. In January, there are already 92 scheduled. TJ.
All right, thank you so much, Eva. And we want to turn now to those devastating fires in Australia, killing at least 18 people, forcing tens of thousands from their homes. Now, many of those residents, as well as tourists, are seeking shelter now from those flames on beaches. Our Maggie Ruley is there for us in Australia. Good morning, Maggie.
TJ, with fire danger expected to increase into the weekend today, crews were out there trying to get the upper hand. Firefighters here tell us that they were able to contain a large fire just up the road, even stopping it from jumping across a busy street. A week-long state of emergency declared this morning in parts of Australia. Thousands fleeing as more than 200 fires rage in two of Australia's most populated states, killing at least 18 people. Firefighters driving through the inferno, shielding their windows with blankets as the flames engulf their vehicle.
When we were in there, in the thick of it, we thought that this could be it.
In the south, some families are trapped on the beach as the fires surround them on all sides. The Australian Navy is now stepping in, delivering aid to those waiting to evacuate. The wildfires are also burning through much of Australia's precious ecosystem, killing an estimated 500 million animals and threatening countless others.
He's so thirsty.
Like this koala found fighting for his life.
Here he is here. This is Paul. Oh.
He's recovering at the koala hospital and even has a name, Paul. He was the first to be rescued from these fires, but dozens followed.
It's really going to set back the koalas who are already in serious decline.
But it's little ones like Paul that make the researchers here keep fighting. Both researchers at the koala hospital and firefighters here tell us that they have been working in this region for decades and they have never seen anything like this. Guys.
Just imagine the massive size of that.
Trying to put that into scale, 12 million acres, they said, is bigger than the states of Connecticut and New Jersey combined.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. All right, thank you, Maggie. We do want to turn now this morning to an apology from Pope Francis after that surprising moment in Vatican City seen around the world. The Pope was greeting the faithful on New Year's Eve as he walks by the crowd. That woman in the purple coat, there you see, yanked the 83-year-old pontiff's arm, pulling him towards her. Pope Francis smacked her hand and then moved away, clearly irritated. As he began his New Year's Day address on St. Peter's Square, the Pope went off script, saying, quote, "Love makes us patient. We often lose our patience. Me too. And I apologize for my bad example."
Shocking to see.
It really was.
Yeah.
For a
This
lot of
morning,
people.
we're also going to celebrate the life of former NBA Commissioner David Stern, who was at the helm of the league for 30 years, a time in which it reached new heights of popularity, profitability, and personality. Chris Conley is in Los Angeles with more on the man who changed the face and future of pro basketball. Good morning, Chris.
And good morning, Robin. You know, with fierce intelligence and unparalleled vision, David Stern brought profound, sweeping change to professional basketball during his 3-decade reign as NBA commissioner, becoming a monumental figure in the history of American sports. The effects of a brain hemorrhage suffered 2 weeks ago, claiming the life of former NBA Commissioner David Stern on New Year's Day at the age of 77. The league he helped to define, honoring him with moments of silence on Wednesday, Before David Stern became NBA commissioner in 1984, the league was in the doldrums. Its finals often aired out of primetime on tape delay. Stern seized on the excellence of such young superstars as Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. Marketing their singular greatness helped Stern transform the NBA into a worldwide juggernaut, both fantastic and fantastically lucrative. Michael Jordan saying in a statement, "His vision and leadership provided me with the global stage that allowed me to succeed." From the dream team at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona and the electrifying slam dunk contests during All-Star Weekend, to the straight-out-of-high-school magnificence of LeBron James and Kobe Bryant.
The Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant.
Stern had a key role in making all of it possible and profitable.
For me personally, it was a dream come true to step up on that stage and shake David's hand. My prayers and condolences goes to his family.
His hard-charging style saw him lead the league through a referee scandal and an infamous brawl, through player discipline and a controversial dress code, through labor unrest and lockouts.
I never felt that I had to apologize for the players for making that money.
Yet there was more to David Stern than just business. He had a lifelong commitment to social justice, too. When Magic Johnson announced in 1991 that he had HIV, Stern would ensure that Magic played in the 1992 All-Star Game and on the Dream Team, as he told Robin Roberts in 2016.
We got to give Commissioner David Stern a lot of credit. So we both helped change the world, in a sense. And so I thank him for that.
It was also Stern who spearheaded the drive to establish the WNBA in 1996. Said Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, his steadfast commitment to women's sports was ahead of its time. To this day, from Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard to Candace Parker and Diana Taurasi, no sport showcases more scintillating stars. None gets fans so engaged on social media. None generates more breathtaking highlights. All thriving on a landscape that David Stern brought into being. And what David Stern accomplished continues to endure, guys.
Yes, under his successor, Adam Silver. Chris, I mean, Commissioner Stern had the respect of the players, owners, and also fans. That's quite a trifecta.
Yeah, I'd say he's the most accomplished and successful sports commissioner of all time. There's plenty of evidence for that.
It certainly seems that way. And you have to remember, remember the league in the 80s when he came along?
Yeah.
No one was really talking about the NBA as they do now.
But he highlighted the personalities. He knew your money was in your stars, and he highlighted those personalities. But he came into the league, you had Stern, you had Jordan and Barkley, came in 84, all at the same time. That's a heck of a group.
Absolutely.
That didn't hurt.
Incredible career.
Yeah. Well, he will be missed. We're following a lot of other stories this morning. Next, Michael's exclusive with Alex Trebek and his wife Jean on the pain he noticed that led to his cancer diagnosis, how they're coping using humor, and the pet peeve Jean says she wants him to stop doing. Can't wait to hear that.
Also ahead this morning, the heart-pounding rescue of a base jumper stuck dangling on the face of a mountain. First, though, let's go back to Ginger.
10 cars buried in a drift, not a snowdrift. A tumbleweed drift. This is in Washington State. The highway was closed for a time. Again, 10 cars in there, guys. That was all from that wind that was so extreme with that storm. All right, your local weather coming up in 30 seconds. First, though, the Sunny Cities, sponsored by Allstate.
I'm your 70-pound St. Bernard puppy, and my lack of impulse control is about to become your problem.
Oh, no, come on. I saw you eating poop earlier. Hey! My focus is on the road, and that's saving me cash with DriveWise. Who's the dummy now?
Forget Allstate. Where good drivers save 40% for avoiding mayhem, like me.
Sorry! He's a baby!
Well, happy Thursday and second day of January. We're starting out cold, but it's going to be a mild afternoon. Some sunshine early, followed by clouds, but dry until very late this evening. We'll max out at 53 degrees around 4 p.m. Tomorrow, some wet weather, Saturday too, but notice the temperatures in the 50s. Once the rain ends, it's going to turn cold and breezy. 45 on Sunday, mostly sunny, with wind chills in the 20s and 30s. Early part of next week looking dry with the possibility of another storm next Wednesday.
Back to Robin Roberts. She's been out a while. That's very kind.
Welcome to 2020.
Well, it is National Returns Day.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now there's Skyrizi. 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months after just 2 doses.
Skyrizi may